Hey, it's your boy Token here, and today I wanted to show you how to make this kind of pluck, kind of, Deadmau5 kind of thing. I set up, a little example or whatever, I'm gonna play it. Yeah, I made two different versions. I made one in Harmor. Hold on. Mute that. Somebody messaged me. And my bad. Let's check the message. And I made the other one in Sytrus. Yeah, but yeah, so, what you want, dual? So say, I guess I could show you both versions. So, I guess we're gonna start with the Harmor. Alright, first, the reason why I chose Harmor and Sytrus is because they're both stock plugins in FL Studio, and, not everyone can afford fancy plugins and stuff, so yeah, but yeah. So yeah, open up your Harmor. Harmor comes. When you open up a Harmor, it automatically goes to the default settings. So let's see. First thing you want to do though is put some notes down. I guess. I'm gonna use the notes that I already came up with. So, ooh, that's not it. So you should have this. I'm sorry if that's like super loud. Hold on, let me check this real quick. Should already did all this. Yeah, this Harmor is like already automatically loud, so I'm gonna be. But yeah. Let's do it again. God dang it. Yeah, my bad. Alright, so first thing you want to do, there's a lot of things you could do, but I guess the first thing you want to do, add some Unison first. Matter of fact, now let's shape the sound first. So, Unison. You can add like 9 voices, put it all the way up, it doesn't matter. The more voices, the more it spreads across your ears. You turn the pan down. The phase, depending on where you put the phase, depends on like, it's not really like this kind of phase, but it's more of the phase of the Unison. Up here is more like smooth. Down here it's a little more sharp. And Down here, I think it's just like, let me see. Yeah, this is like plus and this is like minus. Alright, so you know, now you should have that. You could also go into the harmonic unison pitch window. What this is, it's the pitch knob here. You can mess with the frequencies of the tone of the pitch. Yeah, so like it, these sections here are like, imagine if this was like the high end of the sound. You can mess with how much this is affected to certain areas of that sound. Like look, let me show you. Like up here, you don't really hear much, but like, if you come down here, you can hear how much it gets spread across. Oh yeah, if you right click on this, click edit articulator, you can you know, go into the unison pitch thickness. That's what this is. It's how thick it, how you know, the thickness or whatever. You have the envelope. You can modulate it in like a couple different ways, but I'd rather just use the envelope. But what this does, see how I have this set right here? When every key that I press, it'll start up here and then it'll quickly go down here. If I do it in reverse, it'll start from down here and then go up. I think that sounds good enough. All right, next you can move to the volume envelope. And what you want to do here is you want to make, you know, with it's a pluck sound, so you want to make a pluck shape with the volume. Yeah, so make a shape like Dios. Now sometimes what I like to do with this is somebody trying to come in my room. Oh. Anyway, yeah, this is the start of the sound and this is the end of the sound. This is like the attack, sustain. I think this is the decay. No, this is the release, but I don't have like a decay. But basically, when you play a note and you let it go, the longer this is, the longer it'll take for that note to stop playing. Like you see how it kind of, if I move it over even more, it takes even longer, and then if I stops immediately. So what I like to do sometimes is I like to, you know, just leave it out a little bit. Oh, if you want your shape to be on time, like perfect or whatever, click tempo right here and make sure the magnet is on, because if the magnet's not on, you can just do it wherever. If the magnet is on, it'll automatically snap to the grid. And these thick lines right here, I think this is just like one bar, 1 2 3 4, you know, it'll what I like to do is just keep it. pluck sound. Next thing you want to do is turn down the pluck. See this right here? This is what really gives it, you know, that pluck. You turn it down. Oh snap! See, now we getting somewhere. See, and now what you could do, you could even shape this to how you want, so that way you can get a unique kind of pluck style. What you do is you right click on it, edit articulator, and now it'll bring you to the envelope window. Like I said, there's multiple ways you could modulate it, not modulate it. You could shape it, but for this, the envelope is just fine. So you know, tempo, you can turn it on, all that good stuff. Now, if you would like, what you want to do is, since it's a pluck, like, you know, with a pluck sound, like you can see it over here. Let me turn this off. You can see how like it goes down, whatever. So you will want this to do the same things if you want to get a more like deep, thick kind of pluck sound. Because if you do it up, it'll sound like this is opening back up. Like, look. But if you bring it down, you know, it's a little more plucky. Another thing you can do, you can even shape like this is just really, this is more of like this in the sense, in the same way, but it's like added on. But you can also like shape I guess the tone of the pluck. What you have to do is, you know, you go into your drop down and you go to Pluck Shape. This is gonna be the shape. Like the window we were just saying is how much pluck you apply to the sound. Now this is gonna be the shape of the pluck. Get your pencil. You could just do points or whatever. That's actually really good. Or you could actually like that. Or you could just get the pencil and like draw it. But I like that little ring sound right there, ring part right there. It's actually really good. Yeah. So, you know, boom. Now you have. That's kind of basically, you know it. Other things you could do. Some people what they would like to do is they would layer it with another one, or they would turn on side B and just do the same thing, but just pitch it down so that way it'll have like some bass undertones to it, or you could just push up the sub right here. Oh yeah, how I made it open, you know, in the demo, like how I did here. At least that's that. What I did was I did two things. One, I right clicked on this. You go to quick map 2, and then you choose which modulation wheel. Modulation wheels are down here. You have X, Y, and Z. Route it to X. Now this window, what this is, look, think of this as the it's like the starting and ending point for this, right? Since you have the pluck amount routed to here, you can choose how much of the pluck can be modulated by X. In the middle right here, where click this actually. In the middle right here, where this point is 0. Up here would be like positive 100, and down here would be negative 100. So when you bring this down, depending on wherever this is, will limit how much this can it will it'll you know, let it through. Same thing with this too though, but you can just have more control over it. What up? Now to get this kind of underwater sound, you know, like how that is, what I did was, there's multiple ways you can do it, but without having to use any external, you know, effects or whatever, you can do it inside of Harmor. What I did was I chose the crew low pass. Any low pass filter will work. That's what makes it sound like it's underwater. It's cutting off all the highs, as you can see here. Wait, no, that's the other sound. So do the same thing that you did for the pluck with the crew low pass. Set it to how you want. Right click on add articulator. Actually, no, not bad. My quick map tab, modulation X, and set the points where you want it to reach its limit and stuff. I'm gonna bring this up because it goes too far to the low end. Yeah, you know. Oh, another cool tip that you can do is you can come into the advanced tab, turn down the denoise, turn down the grain. What these settings will do, it just makes it process better. Like when you extract your song or whatever, it makes it sound like the quality a little bit better. Another thing you can do is see this ramp knob right here. If you turn it down, it makes the pluck a little more smooth. Let me turn this down. Oh yeah, and turn on declick too. Almost forgot. And the for the effects, you could either add a flat hat or a soft set. The reason why is because any other distortion or whatever is just gonna be too much. You could even add a big crest if you want, like some kind of noise in there or whatever. But flat hat or soft set. Flat hat might be a little too much too though, but soft set is perfect. Add some chorus, turn it down to wherever you want. Reverb is my favorite. You can turn it to burning. I think it's probably throw some delay on there. Turn down the volume of it. Turn down both of the filters. Yeah. Oh, how I got that that ducking sound. All I did was I put it in, its own mixer, and I EQ'd it, accordingly or whatever. But this girl's beat is what really gives it that, that like swing dipping in and out. Girl's beat. Oh yeah, another thing that I've noticed in like every time someone does a tutorial with this plugin or whatever, and they use side chaining or even one of these effects, no one ever, or even actually I think it's only these that really have these that you can control it with though, but no one ever talks about these knobs for real. So when you put on the side chaining, you know it's a little too much, so you drag the points to where you want. Now what these knobs down here will do is you can control how much is applied with these, but you can control even more with this. Like the more to the right, the less effect it has on it. The more to the left, the harsher it is. I think the same thing with the release too. Yeah. I never really mess with the attack though. Oops, did not want that. Add an OTT. Yep, and that's basically it, right click. Oh, remember to highlight the section you want before I forget. Yeah, right click, put your John in the John and do the John for John. Yeah. Now for the Sytrus, it's the steps are somewhat the same, but to most people Sytrus looks like confusion as shit. Like look at all this, like, oh my god, what is that? Well, it's not that hard. So what you want to do is open up a Sytrus. When you first open up Sytrus, it's not on this default patch or whatever. So you gotta go in there and hit default. Now you have your default sound. First thing you want to do is turn off the output for the first oscillator. These right here, these represent these up here, the oscillators, and then these down here represent the filter, and then got your effects, which is right here. So yeah, turn off the output for oscillator 1 and turn on the out for filter 1, the effects, and turn on filter 1. You should have that. I'm gonna take the notes from this example and put it in here. Now you should have, something like this. Doesn't sound cool. Probably is hurting the crap out of your ears. Alright, go into filter 1. And start shaping the sound. Basically the same way how I showed you in this, you're gonna do in here. You got your envelope right here, and you have your volume. Yeah, but what this is, it's gonna be the volume of the filter, not the oscillator, because you actually have to do that to the oscillator too. So, but first we're gonna do it to the filter. So, shape the sound. So you get that. Alright, already starting to sound fluffy. Go into the cutoff, which is the second step. It's the second step. Go into the cutoff and do the same thing. After you did that, got it the way you want it, go to filter 1, which should be right here, and scroll until you get to LP2, which is, I'm guessing, low pass 2, which if you right click on it, you got your drop down menu. I think it would be vanilla low pass. Yeah, boom. Now you want times 3. What times 3 is, I think what these are, it's like, because if you, hold on, I'm gonna route this to here. If you come into here, click on this, you see how in Fruity Parametric EQ, when you do this, you have like your slope, you can make it like even more harsh or whatever. I think that's what that is, basically. Basically, it's just taking the sound and doing this. That's all it's doing. Oh yeah, turn the resonance up too, so it can be a little bit more plucky. Next step you want to do is come into your operator, turn SH. Oh yeah, the shape of the sound. Turn the shape of the sound to it doesn't really matter what it doesn't really matter what shape you turn it to. It all depends on what kind of pluck you're looking for, or what kind of sound you're looking for. So yeah. Sometimes if you mess with if you go to the oscillator tab and mess with the frequencies, you can like add and take away frequencies to make it sound even cooler or more unique. I think the lower frequencies are down here and the higher ones are up here. But yeah, we're not really mess with that though. Go into the volume tab, go into the envelope tab, and do the same thing you did in filter 1. It makes it even more funky. But see, I think depending on how you shape this will depend whether or not it when it gets to the full, when it gets to 100%, will it, like, cause you know how when you switch this all the way up, it goes from the pluck to just straight chords. Depending on, I guess, how much you let the cutoff, not the cutoff, what am I talking about? Depending on the shape that you do, depending on how much you cut off of when the sound hits, will depend on this. So it is the cutoff. I was right. Yeah, and that's it for like the basic, the base of the sound or whatever. Add some effects. That's why I told you, to turn on the effects tab, because you can just add your own effects, or you can, do it externally or whatever. Whatever's whatever. Oh yeah, remember how I did the unison for this? This has its own unison too, and it's right about here where it says ORD. You don't have as much control over it as this one, because Harmor is a boss or whatever, but does the job. You can even EQ it inside of it a little bit. Do some edits, do some highs a little bit. gross beat for I'm gonna just save it over to there. Add the gross beat to get that that pump and fill in or whatever. Add OTT. Put that drone in here. Highlight your section. Right click on the cutoff. Oh, before I do that, remember how I told you that you can to make it sound like it has deeper undertones to it. You could either turn on oscillator B or add the sub. And Sytrus, the way you do that is you turn on whatever other oscillator you want. Down here you turn it on. And okay, now this right here, this is the frequency ratio. This is basically it determines the note of the sound. It's like the same thing with harmony. Basically, right? So since this is at 2.0, what you would want to do is you would want to do half of that, which would be 1. But I'm gonna do even half of that, which would probably be 0. It should be 0.5, just because I want an even deeper undertone. So I'm gonna what you do is you shape the sound the same way as operator 1, or whichever way you want. Then you turn down the frequency ratio for operator 2 down to 0.5, and now you should have before and then after. That might be too deep, so I'm gonna try 1. There you go, that's better. Oh yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but this has its own pluck button. I've never really noticed what it did though, because for me it doesn't really pluck it, or like it kind of does, but not good enough. Not good enough. But yeah, as I was saying, highlight your section, come into the filter 1. Right click on the cutoff, create automation clip, and draw in your drums. Yeah, that's it for now, I guess. I think I covered everything. I know they all sound different, but I did different things. Almost similar. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day.